transition. Making a transition. Trying to mission, I'm on a mission. On a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transition in my life. On a mission. On a mission. On a mission.
Welcome to another installment of Alchemizing Energy. How's everybody doing today? This happy Wednesday, hump day. How's everybody going? Man, this whole tonight's conversation situation is really heating up. I mean, I'm not sure if everybody remembers this. About a year ago or 2 years ago, I did a thing called the Meeting of the Minds. And this is before I even knew about tonight's conversation and what was going on with the Ace Metaphor thing. And I found out that he pretty much was doing something similar, but he was way more, advanced than what I was trying to do, And it, I actually was looking up to that. Like, you know what? I want to do something similar to that, probably even take it to the next level. But man, oh man, the things that are being revealed, it's crazy how people will get into these positions and all the tea, it'll seem like things are doing good and everybody's all cool and it looks all professional. And it'd be so much garbage and BS going on in the background. Trust me, even on my event, it was so much BS, so we can't be judging these shows and these events by their cover. And I'm going to go into a little bit later on where I I'm going to show y'all how even Zeus Network was being accused of somebody being unalived on their thing. So it's crazy how these media companies and these media people are doing this stuff, and man, it be so much garbage going on in the background of the whole situation, y'all. So let's hear what's going on with this tonight's conversation situation. Let's go.
Some receipts. Now, I would have posted this earlier, but when I tell you,
I want to give a video credit to Sweet Ma for Life for this video. I'm going to be commentating. If you want to see the whole video without my commentary, probably go to her channel, but I'm going to be commenting throughout this whole thing and pausing it. So just be ready, because
reading and editing and doing all this extra shit takes time. So please hit the like button on your way out. Let's get into it. I've always been transparent with my supporters, and today is no different. What you're about to hear is an audio recording of an unlawful attempt by Keta Rose to extort $500,000 from me. $500,000, y'all. Let me be clear. Keta Rose has been 100% compensated for 100% of her services. See last slides. So basically, Ace had posted this earlier and took it down. So while Keta was live, people were saying, Ace took it down, Ace took it down. And I was just like, wow, that speaks volumes. Ace is scared. But then he posted this with extra receipts. So I guess we're going to get into those in a second. Everyone has their right to make their own decisions about what they believe. But I want my fans to hear the truth for themselves before jumping to conclusions based on false and damaging accusations. This isn't about drama. This is about integrity and defending my name. Listen for yourself and decide what you believe. Thank you for your continued support. Well, Keta said she recorded the same calls that he has, so we'll have to wait and see what Keta has.
You hear me? Yeah, because I'm really talking to him because I know he's watching. Your fans are going to believe everything you tell them until I show them. Hey, boo. Type shit. I need a charger, type C, because I got to record. I recorded the conversations too.
To the fans of Ace Metaphor and Ace Metaphor Productions and tonight's conversation, I'm sharing this sensitive information.
So they both were recording each other. That's how toxic whatever this is, they both recorded the conversation of each other, and they're both coming out with their same recordings about what the whole thing, unlawful attempt, blah, 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 extorting money from him. But in the conversation, it seems like he's going along with it. So he's trying to set her up. That's crazy. So let's go further into it. This is interesting.
Only because of an unlawful attempt by Keta Rose to extort $500,000 from me. In her failed effort to defame my character and secure an unlawful payday, I feel it's necessary to inform my supporters of the truth. As many of you know, I've always prided myself on being an open book. My journey, including the challenges I've faced, have given me the insight needed to offer meaningful relationship advice. Out of respect for my ex-wife's privacy and in accordance with legal requirements surrounding my expungement, I have never publicly shared these details until now. As I've shared before, my past has shaped me and given me the life experiences I use to offer real relationship advice to so many. Out of respect for my ex-wife's privacy, her requests, and the legal guidelines surrounding my expungement, I've refrained from publicly discussing these details. However, due to the false and dramatic claims being made now, and sharing and releasing of my information pertaining to my expunged record, I feel compelled to provide the truth. Here's my story. When I was 20 years old, I married my ex-wife in December of 2009. As many can relate, being young and in love can make it difficult to manage emotions, especially in challenging times. Our relationship was unpredictable and often led to arguments. During these disagreements, I have never physically harmed my ex-wife. In 2011, after one such argument, in an effort to de-escalate the argument and in response to certain actions of my ex-wife, I removed my wife from our apartment and was later arrested for doing so. At the time, I didn't understand that removing her from the home was against the law. As a result, I was charged. Despite this, my wife and I continued to see each other on and off as we tried to reconcile. In 2012, I was able to resolve this legal matter. I received a disorderly conduct violation, which was later expunged. Later that year, my ex-wife and I mutually decided to separate and move forward with our lives. I'm sharing this part of my life not for sympathy, but so you can understand that I, like everyone else, have made mistakes, grown, and learned from my experiences. I'm sharing because I want to be sure that any telling of my private history is accurately displayed. I do not believe or condone anyone having to suffer their history being publicly shared without their consent and without it coming directly from the people directly involved, which has happened here. I did not at any time share this information with Nikita Moon. Damn, he put her government. But I am now
Wow,
required
you know
to
his whole
clarify an
government.
intimately personal matter that only occurred between myself and my ex-wife and is legally not publicly available because I would not provide money to Nikita Moon in exchange for Nikita. Ooh, damn, sir. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all don't read these things. People just need to say what they got to say because having a pause and scroll and do all this stuff, especially when you can't see with the words, it's a bit annoying. So yeah, let me read this for you guys before y'all start talking shit in the comments. I would not provide money to Nikita Moon in exchange for Nikita Moon not to speak to or release this matter. I am now 35 years old and have had no further issues with the law in the 15 years since. Today, I stand as a man who deeply respects the law and the women in my life. My hope is that my story demonstrates my growth and the lessons I've learned, allowing me to continue helping others who may be struggling in love. Thank you for your continued support and trust. Sincerely, a metaphor.
Man, y'all, that was a mouthful. That was a lot. Like, really? Man, so let's go into how this whole thing started, because it started somewhere, right? It started off with Keta Rose discussing things that happened, during her time, right? And she felt like she was being abused in that situation. So let's go into her.
Warning: this rant is going to mention abuse, and if you can't handle all that because Trump's inauguration is on Martin Luther King Day and that's just too much for you already, I understand. Come back and see this tomorrow. It's going to be up. After the Diddy situation, I often ask myself how people could be so inconsiderate and insensitive in the comments and ask questions like why it takes so long, or how come they didn't say this, or how come everybody wants to come out of the woodwork. So I kind of want to break down abuse real quick so that the is in the back that ain't never been abused, or maybe the ones that are doing the abusing, could really understand where I'm coming from. So let's make some things clear. What are the different types of abuse? Well, there's financial, there's physical, there's sexual, there's mental, there's emotional, there's verbal. There's a lot of different types of abuse. So it's important to know all the different types so you can identify it if somebody want to get stupid with you. I just don't understand why people wait so long in order to talk about their abuse. Well, let's go over some of the things that the victim has to face once they've come out. Firstly, you're going to be alone. So when you first start talking about your abuse, you have to understand there's going to be a lot of people around you that love, care about, and believe your abuser. You're going to get talked to crazy, talked about, lied to, and lied on. Keta, why? The victim didn't do anything. Why are they going through that? Well, because they're disrupting a cycle. Imagine you tell your family during Christmas that Uncle Joe can't really keep his hands to himself. Well, now you're the one that's ruined Christmas. The burden falls on the one who talks. Remember that. See, it's up because the people that love your abuser have to now choose between believing you and enabling them. So the hard part is done, right? Saying it, getting it out there. But now you have to do the harder part, which is prove it. Then you notice everybody around you that had the same opinion, had the same experience, gets the same feelings about said person, said abuser. You'll see them cower down. you'll see them shut the up. Why? Because everyone gets rowdy when we're talking about it. Yeah, that happened to me. Yeah, we can't stand for this. Yeah, who do they think they are? Until it's time to really stand on business and mean what the you say. And you'll see that 99% of the who had a problem before don't know what you're talking about anymore. So now you're jealous, bitter, angry, broke, money hungry, or whatever else the abuser's going to call you to then paint themselves more credible. You can't listen to such and such because did you know, in my cases, did you know that she suffers from mental illness? She's crazy. And you know what? All right. Victims have to answer questions like, well, if the abuse was so bad, why didn't you leave earlier? And to that, I'd say it depends on what's connected to the abuse. Some people's abusers are tied to everything they have or everything they've ever known. Imagine being like, I know Ashton owns everything in your bank account and he owns the house and the car and custody of the kids and everything that's ever been near or dear to your heart. But just walk away. Fuck you, Jan. You walk away. I'm staying. I'm going to figure this out. Here's some scary ass truths that victims have to face before they confront their abuser. People might not believe you. People might talk shit. Everybody might turn against you. You might get sued and then have to be abused and pay. Might get diddied. Everybody has pneumonia. Victims have to hear shit like, you don't look abused. You look okay. You don't look sad or mad. Okay, well, let me just go home and shit on myself. Rub it all over. That way I just look like I feel inside. Victims get to see abusers play victim. And a lot of your faves are so good at playing victim. The image is like, mwah, chef's kiss. A couple things victims need to understand. And if you ain't clocked nothing else this whole video, go ahead and clock this. You don't get any reward for shutting the up. What, Keta? That doesn't even make sense because you just said what could happen to the victims by speaking out. Absolutely. But also what could happen to a victim by shutting the up is the abuser gets to keep going and keep abusing and they don't stop. So someone has to say something. And lastly, but most importantly, let's talk about after something traumatic happening, the victim having to heal. Whilst a lot of the times, whilst watching their abusers shine. And don't worry, abusers are never alone. A lot of the times they shine with the people that enable the abuse because abuse is okay as long as you benefit. As long as you benefit. My abuser says that everybody has a price. All those things are important to consider if you want to confront your abuser, if you want to start speaking out about your story. I'm ready to confront mine. So I think it's time that we have a real conversation. Trigger warning, this rant is